Varun Goel from KC Securities joining in with his thoughts on the markets. Varun, we were almost looking set towards that level of 6,300. We've done so 2 or 3 times, but are not able to sustain about that level of 6,200. You think this is just playing time before we eventually hit a new all-time high?
Around if you look at the fundamentals of the market, we are trading close to 15 to 16 times FY 12 earnings. I think the next trigger could be FY as the second quarter earnings that start from 14th or 15th of this month. I think what we saw from Bank of Japan yesterday was very interesting. It seems all the developed markets want easy money, are planning to do quantitative easing. I think the run that we have seen in last 1 month or so is primarily led by expectations of a similar quantitative easing to be initiated in US by Fed. I think European troubles again seem to be increasing every day, and it's just a matter of time before another stimulus is announced there. So I think overall we would expect the easy liquidity to continue for some more time. Now to what extent and what will the quantum is a very difficult thing to judge, but till the time we see that kind of a benign monetary policy environment across the world, it is difficult to see any serious correction in Indian equity markets.
What is your take on non-ferrous metals, Hindalco, Sterlite, Sasagua? They've been having a reasonably good run over the last couple of days. Sterlite and Hindalco are up 4% as we speak. Sasagua, which got included in the Nifty earlier this week, is doing pretty well. Are you relatively sanguine about this part of the market?
Well, I think, Rahul, if you look at the non-ferrous metal demand across the world is now a function of how the demand holds up in China. Almost 30 to 40% of consumption in each of the 3 metals that you mentioned is now driven by China, and we have seen a significant slowdown in macroeconomic activity. So till the time there is a very big bounce back in macroeconomic activity in China, we do not expect a very big rebound to come in, although I would think that the current price levels, aluminium and zinc, are trading marginally above their marginal cost of production, so I would not expect a lot of downside from these levels. As far as Indian companies are concerned in each of these space, be it aluminium or be it zinc, I would expect a very strong Indian demand to come in the remaining few quarters of this year, and we would continue to be positive on both the ferrous and the non-ferrous side.
Okay, Varun, stay on. We're going to take a quick break over here. As we do that, let's see you with some thoughts from a whole host of market experts. Lots of stock ideas that we've got during the course of the day. These are some of them as we head into a break. That are moving around. JP Associates is still at the top of the Nifty, up by about 7%. Varun, any thoughts on cement led by JP Associates?
Well, if you look at the cement price trends in last 6 months, we continue to see softness in the price. In between, there was 5 to 10 rupees upside in cement prices in southern part of the country. But other than that, if you look at the western and the northern part, the prices have remained more or less stable. You would expect them to continue to be stable, primarily because of the large capacity expansion that has come in. I think almost 50 million tons of new capacity has already come in, and by the time the capacity stabilizes, we in 2012 further, we are going to see more new capacity coming in. So I think clearly from a supply demand perspective, supply clearly exceeds demand at this point of time, and therefore we would expect cement prices to remain weak. I think as far as these quarterly results are concerned, we would expect a year-on-year decrease in the profits and the top line of most of the bigger players, primarily because of the sharp decrease in cement prices. So we would avoid the space at this point of time.
Reliance and Kane are making a move today after a very, very long time. Do you like this pocket of the market, Varun?
Rahul, if you look at the refining cycle, if you look at September numbers, again, if you look at diesel cracks and kerosene cracks, they're all fallen on a month-on-month basis. The kind of spreads that we have at this point of time and nowhere near the levels that we saw in 2007, 2008. There is clearly an excess supply of refining capacity in this part of the world, which is not going to go away anytime soon. Reliance clearly is grappling with new growth opportunities, and it's difficult to see a lot of upside from these levels. So we'll continue to avoid that space. As far as Kane is concerned, it's a pure play on crude prices. I think we have seen a very sharp increase in crude prices from $70 to almost $80 a barrel in almost 15 days time. We would expect the crude prices to stay around these levels, primarily because there is huge inventory sitting in US and Europe. So purely on a fundamental basis, we would expect the crude prices to stay around these levels for the better part of the year, and therefore Kane also remains an avoid for us.
Quickly, Tavi. Well, so there will be a share swap ratio that will come in to the shareholders of Binani Cements of Binani Industries as they acquire these shares. 20% up and now 16% up on Binani Industries. So both of these stocks are rallying pretty hard. So what is going to happen, basically Binani Industries and Binani Cement. This company, Binani Industries, holds 65% in Binani Cements. Binani Cements is basically going to come under Binani Industries right now, and if you're a shareholder of Binani Cements and you're wondering what's going to happen to you, you will be allotted shares of Binani Industries, and your company that is currently existing as Binani Cements will delist itself. That's the board proposal that's just come through. We're still trying to get in touch with the management, and we should get them over the next couple of minutes, but the stocks have really pushed hard over the last few minutes. You can see it's been practically vertical for both Binani Industries and Binani Cements. So a big piece of news coming in the cement sector. Not that this sector needed any kind of push any which ways, the way JP Associates has been moving, but phenomenal performance from these two stocks nonetheless. We'll get you more details as we go along. Very quickly, Varun, a call on the banking sector before you leave us?
Well, we continue to be positive on the banking space. I think we, beginning on 14th, when we see the results coming in, we would expect the private sector banks to show at least 30% increase in net interest income, and we would definitely want to stay invested in some of the larger private sector names.
All right, Varun, we'll leave it at that. Good speaking with you. Thanks so much for taking time out and joining us. We are within striking distance of closing out today. We've got just a few seconds to go, and it's come to a fairly tame close, you would have to say, in the context of where we started off.